Hi everyone, Tony Tonkin here from The Tony Tonkin Show. Thanks for being with me, and I hope that you find something in some of the conversations that I have with you that is helpful. A lot of the time this is just about me airing my point of view, and I'm sure that there are plenty of times you will probably disagree with what I have to say, which is fine, and if you do, please make a comment below. If there are things I say that you agree with, please let me know that also. But today I want to talk about getting old. What does getting old mean? How do we confront it? And what do we do about it? Now, I'm not going to talk about necessarily my age, but I certainly am oldish. And one of the issues that I tend to have to face on a continual basis is the fact that as I become older, I become more and more aware that I have less and less time in which to do the things that I would like to do. You know, when we're young and we're in our 20s, approaching 40 seems like a long, long way away and is something that we very rarely give thought to, like what would life be like when I'm 40? What will I have in my life? How will my world look like? As I reach 40, what decisions have I made in terms of family and career and other things? They're things that we may consider when we're in our 20s. And it seems like a long way away. But when we're in our 70s and we're looking further down the track, we tend to start to think about, well, how much time have I got left? Not like we are in our 20s where we're thinking, well, it's a long, long way ahead, and that it just seems so far ahead that it's really hard to comprehend. When we're getting older, though, we tend to confront old age or the future years a little differently than what we perhaps have done when we're in our 20s and our 30s. Because as I look ahead, I'm thinking, well, I haven't got as many years ahead of me as I have behind me. So a 10-year period, which would be until I'm 80, does tend to indicate that in those 10 years, a lot of things can happen to a person of my age. And maybe if you're an older person of your age. And how do you process that? I know that every morning when I get up, it's a bit more of a struggle than what it used to be when I was much younger, or even 10 years ago. There are those aches and those pains, and you start to feel a little bit more tired. You tend to not be as fit. You tend to suffer from a whole host of issues. I don't have many of those health issues, but I know lots of people do. And so old age is not about just thinking ahead. It's about feeling what that age, an older age is doing to you, to your body. And how I think it's important to think about how you think about those years that lie ahead. Now, I've had a theory for many, many years, which is about thinking about just the now. So this is the most important moment in my life, and I need to focus on this. I need to stop looking ahead at what might come, but know that if I'm thinking about the now, doing the best that I can in the now, whatever lies ahead is going to be better than just occupying thoughts about, what's going to be like in 10 years' time or 15 years' time or 20 years' time. It's the now that's important. And I think as you get older, focusing on the now is even more important than what it has ever been, for me anyway. So what are the things that I wish to do now that are important? Now, one of the things that you tend to do when you get older is you think about, where does work sit? So how do I function now in terms of whether I'm working or whether I'm choosing not to work? And what does it look like if I choose not to work? Like, how does that impact my life? There are many, many people who look forward to, who cherish the idea of not being able to work, to spend their whole time in leisurable type activities, whether that be watching television or whether it be doing other things that they find interesting and fascinating, or whether it's about, for some of them, just sitting back and doing bugger all. I'm not one that can sit back and do bugger all. I prefer to be able to find things that I can do. And the retirement word is something that I've tried to avoid, because my belief system tells me that if I chose to retire, if I chose to do nothing, if I chose to sit back, watch television or YouTube videos, then the chances are that I would just wither away into nothing, and I would find that process completely unsatisfying. So retirement isn't necessarily about stop earning money. Retirement is about, to me, giving up on life generally and making choices about becoming a sort of a blob who sits down and does as little as possible, because the belief system is that, you know, I've done all this stuff over the years, it's made me tired, so now I need to sit down and just relax. And sometimes that relaxing can turn into become problematic, because you find that you stop using your brain, you stop being enthusiastic about other things around you. You know, I know there are lots of people who retire who focus just on their kids and their grandkids and what that means to them, and their great grandkids, and good on them. I think that's a valuable thing that one could be able to do. But at the end of the day, it's really about trying to focus on the things that benefit us. So I think for everybody, this is different. In my case, I don't like the R word, so I prefer to find things that I can enjoy and take up new challenges in my life. And this, what I'm doing now, is one of them. And being able to learn about post-production, about making videos, about documentaries, and some of those other things that I've now chosen to do, that is what's important to me. And hopefully that will mean that I'll be able to progress. I'll be able to keep my brain satisfied, find things that I can do that are of interest to me, and perhaps I will become a more interesting person as well, because I'm doing things that are particularly challenging, that I can talk about with others, and that I can incorporate a different set of people into my world to work with me around some of those projects that I'm interested in. As long as I have the physical ability to be able to move about, to think about things in a rational way, and that my mind is intact, providing all of those things are in place for me, I can go off and do some interesting things that perhaps I haven't thought of doing before, some challenging things. So I guess what I'm saying to you is, I don't know what retirement looks like to you, I don't know what getting old looks like to you, but it does present itself with a whole range of new challenges. And it's those challenges that we must consider in order to make whatever years remain in our lives the best possible years that they can be. So I hope that's been helpful to you. It's been great for me to have that conversation with you. And I just want to say at the end, just look, whatever you choose to do, may it be fruitful. May it enhance your life. When you reach a certain age, it doesn't have to be the end. There are lots of opportunities out there for further learning, further development, and for you to make significant changes in your lives and maybe the lives of others. Thanks everybody, take care and look after yourself.